Hey, Matt Man back with you. Today I'm going to show you how I separate my black sands I get from the beach at Lake Michigan. So here we have the black sands I collected, and the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we get it really dry. So I'm going to put it in here and just get it. Put another one in there. And we're just going to let that sit overnight and get that to be dry. This is some sand that I have previously dried, and we're going to work with this right now. So this is the black sands that we collected up the beach. It's been all dried. Next thing we want to do is we want to send it through a kitchen strainer and classify it down. So let's go ahead and put some in here. You can tell it's pretty fine, not much. Got a few stones coming out of it. We don't want those. So we'll put that over there. Put this back in here. And now we're going to get the magnetic black sands out of it. Now, I give Klesh all the credit for this idea. He uses a dollar tube with neodymium magnets and a nut driver. In my research, I found that the ones that fit in the 50-cent tube were a little easier to get. So that's what I got now. So watch how easily the black sands come out of this. See it on the bottom already? And then you take it off. It falls, and pick it up real nice. And then we'll go ahead and put it in here. Nice clean magnetic sands. Now you can actually dredge it. And look at how much is on there. So we go ahead and So go check out Klesh's channel. He does a lot of gold painted reviews, and he does tutorials. I learned a lot from him. So Sean, I only steal from the best. Just keep on doing it. Rinse and repeat. Put it in there. Sorry about my arm. Good shake. One more. All right, I'm just going to keep doing this until I go get any more. Back with you. Okay, so as you can tell, we don't have any black sands hardly left in here. Just gonna go out through it. And say just a little bit on there. Collect that. That's all there is. And we'll put that over there. So here's our black sand, our magnetic sand fraction, all nice and dry. So now what we have to do is we're going to have to pan these out. Now I'm going to pan that out just to clean it up. It's always a chance for a little piece of gold in there, so we're going to make sure, if there's gold in there, we want it. And then we pan that out. And when we pan that out, we're going to separate the blonde sands, which is the most of it, and then separate out the non-magnetic black sands, and the red sands or garnet sands. So we'll end up with three fractions. One's a blonde sand, one is going to be a mixed blonde, black, red sand, and we're going to have the straight magnetic sands. So next step is to pan. I set up a little panning station here. Got a big plastic container, my metal roasting pan here. Go ahead and one thing you want to add is jet dry. This is Cascade, same thing. Put in a good squirt. That breaks the surface tension of the water so things don't float. Down the water in there. So we're going to start by doing the black sands. I'm going to just put them all in there. So get it nice and shaken down, nice and agitated. Everything heavy, heavy, heavy goes to the bottom. Now with these, I don't pan anything off. I just pan it down to the other side. We're cleaning it and we're hoping for a little gold. Kind of hard to do it this way. So let's just fall into the bottom. Okay, so you can see how easy this stuff really does pan off. Get right on down. One thing I learned doing this is I thought it'd be a whole lot more of the magnetic black sands, but there's not. It's the least by volume. All we're doing here is kind of washing it and just seeing if there's a little piece of gold in it. I can't help it. So, all right, that's the end of it. Get some light on that. And no gold. Wah, 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 wah. Now I'll move this over to a container. My black sands all separated. I'll just set that off to dry. Now it's time for the mix of everything else, which is the blonde sand, the non-magnetic black sand, and the red garnet sand. Put a good amount in there. And this we will pan off. Again, you give it a good agitation. Everything heavy goes to the bottom. You can see the black sands already being there on the edge. We're going to just pan off the blonde sand. So nice and easy it comes off. Leave that black there. As soon as the black starts rolling off, you do it again. Certain zen to this. So the blonde sand, the lighter black, the lighter stuff basically goes in the water, the heavier stuff stays in the paint. What you want to see is you want to try to get all that blonde off of there. Rather have a little bit of extra black and red in the lights than in the heavies. Alright, one more. Now, well, pan that back. Okay, see mostly blonde there down at the bottom, so I'll make it so I separate that. And then I can just go ahead and get that all at the bottom. Dump that and just get rid of that. Now this will keep, now this will be our second fraction. Again, look at the blonde sand coming to the top. Put the rest in there, do it all in one. May regret this. So I found a piece of gold. Yeah, you can make it out. So right where the toothpick is pointing, that's a little piece of gold right there. Woohoo! I'll show you how I snuffer that up. So I got my handy little snuffer bottle here. All you gotta do is squeeze out the water. Right there. So now all of this has been dried out. Here we have the black sands. That was all from that one sort. Just go ahead and put it in with these. These are the middlings, I'm calling them. It's the mix of the black sand, the garnet sand, and some blonde sand in there. Can't get it all out. Put that in there. This is the blonde sand that we got out of it. It's going to be the major volume of it. We'll just go ahead and put it in there. All right, so there's our black. Whoa. So, you know, that seems pretty light. That seems as heavy as that. No, not quite, but this is heavier by volume than this is. Also, I think I got a couple pieces of gold in there, and I'll wrap that up at the end. This is what's left of the original sands off the beach. Over time, I'll separate all this like I separate that. Now, everybody asks, why do I do this? Really what it is, I don't know what I'm going to do with the magnetic ones. These are going to end up to be grog that I mix with clay to make my crucible. I'm going to try it with that too. So I'm going to have my clay that I had in the previous episode. I'm going to mix a 2-to-1 and a 3-to-1 with that, and a 2-to-1 and a 3-to-1 with that, and make some tiles with it. As the another test on my Crucible project. There's the gold. I'm surprised how well that's showing up, really. So I count about a dozen pieces in there. Not worth weighing up, but I can actually feel a couple of those under my fingertips. So not too shabby. I'll take it. So hey, Matt Man's back, and I got all of my fractions here all dried up and put together. These are the blonde sands. These are the magnetic black sands, and these are the non-magnetic black sands and the garnet sands. So what I want to do now is I want to get a weight and a volume on all of these fractions, and we'll get relative densities and learn a little bit more about them. Okay, this is 2 liters. Boy, the static electricity in the air. The dry air really did help me get this stuff dried out, but electricity is, the static is just tremendous. All right, that's 2 more liters. That's 4. Maybe I got enough here to... Just over 2. I'm going to call that 6 liters. We'll go 6.1. All right, now we'll get a weight on it. Put the bucket down. Whoop. Let's go ahead and turn on the scale. Put the bucket on. We'll tear it out. Put this on kilos. Yep. And we will pour that in. Actually, I can just leave this in here. 9.9 kilos. So I'm going to do the heavies next, just because it's the more volume. Man, these just feel so heavy. All right, I'm going to call that 1.25 liters. Go. 1.25 liters. And our weight, put that on there, tear it out, pour it in it. $3.25. All right. And last, I'll get a different measure for the magnetic. I'm going to call that 185.185 milliliters. Well, 185 milliliters, or 18.5% of a liter. And we'll get a weight on it. 9.5 kilos. All right, do some math here, figure it out. Okay, let's wrap this up. I got 3 different classifications. I got the blonde sands, I got the magnetic black sand, and I got the non-magnetic heavy sands. Oh yeah, and a little bit of gold. So on the blonde sand, I had 9.9 kilos at 6.1 liters, and density is measured as mass over volume. So we get 1.6 and a quarter kilos per liter for the blonde sands. And for the magnetic black sands, we just came up with a half a pound, and it only totaled 18.5% of a liter, and its density is 2.7. It's the heaviest, but there's not a lot there. Not enough for me to use. Then I have the non-magnetic heavy sands, 3.25 kilos, 1.25 liters, density of 2.6 kilos per liter. You know, and my favorite fraction, which is nothing. So the totals, 13.65 kilos, 7.5 liters, with an average density of 1.8 kilos per liter. So if I ever have to do this over again, if I really like one of these grogs really works for me well, I'm gonna get a cleanup sluice, and that can be another video of me cleaning up all those sands with that cleanup sluice. It's a lot of fun. Another toy. All right, join me next time. I can make some tiles using the clay and these sands. We'll do a bunch of different samples at a bunch of different mixes and see what works out the best. So if you like it, subscribe to it, okay? Help me get this thing going. See ya.